Totoo ba na inabutan mo sila ng sobre o nagsisinungaling silang tatlo?
Respectfully, Mr. Chair, I would not want to answer that question.
Hindi, tinatanong lang naman kita kung meron kang inabot o wala. It is answerable by yes or no. Kung wala, sabihin mo wala. Kung meron, sabihin mo meron.
I will not answer, Mr. Chair, respectfully.
Inabutan mo siya ng sobre na nagkakalaman ng 50,000.
Allegedly, Mr. Chair, yes.
Asawa mo si Ginoong Edward Fajarda.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Tama po ba? Si Edward ba ay nagtatrabaho rin sa ilalim ni VP Sara noong mayor pa siya ng Davao?
No, Mr. Chair, he wasn't.
Okay. Si Edward, siya yung na-appoint, di ba, na bilang Special Disbursing Officer sa DepEd, tama?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Sabay kayo ni Edward na nagtrabaho sa Department of Education?
Nauna rin po ako ng 1 month, Mr. Chair. He started with the Department of Education in August 1. I started July 1, 2022 po.
At noong July 2024, kayo ay nag-resign sa Department of Education, kasabay nila Yusek Michael Powa, Asek Reynold Monsayak, Yusek Nolasco Mempin, at Asek Baluyan, tama ba?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
At ikaw din ay nag-resign sa DepEd kasama ni Mr. Edward Fajarda. Tama ba?
That's correct, Mr. Chair.
Ngayong panahon na ito, ano ang tungkulin mo sa o responsibilidad mo sa OVP?
As I've mentioned already kanina, Mr. Chair, I'm the Director for the Strategic Management Office po.
Okay. Kung maaalala ho natin, no, noong nakaraang hearing, sinabi ni Yusek Gloria Jumamil Mercado na inabutan mo siya ng puting envelope na may nakasulat na hope. Ang ibig sabihin ng hope, tingin mo ano ibig sabihin ng hope?
I believe that's the head of procuring entity, Your Honor.
Okay. So, yun nga ang sinabi niya, inabutan mo siya ng sobre na nagkakalaman ng 50,000.
Allegedly, Mr. Chair, yes.
Kaya nga, yun nga yung sinabi niya, no?
Yes po.
At sinabi rin ni Ms. Catalan, ang Chief Accountant ng DepEd, sinabi rin niya noon na inabutan mo rin siya ng pera na galing sa confidential fund. Ms. Shine, matagal na kayong nagtatrabaho kay VP Sara. Masasabi mo ba na loyal ka sa kanya?
I am loyal, Mr. Chair, to anybody whom I'm working for because that's part of my job po as an employee.
Siyempre, no? Siguro naman, dahil sa sobrang tagal nyo na magkakilala ni Vice President Sara Duterte, hinire ka niya sa Davao, tapos dinala ka niya o nag-apply ka at tinanggap ka niya sa Department of Education, at nung nag-resign ka, nag-apply ka rin sa Office of the Vice President, at ikaw tinanggap niya. Masasabi natin na talagang loyal ka, no? Kay Vice President Sara.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
At dahil sa matagal na kayong nagtatrabaho kay VP Sara, no? Naging heya ka niya sa Department of Education. Ano ang kadalasang trabaho na pinapagawa niya sa iyo?
As Head Executive Assistant, Mr. Chair, it's actually similar to my role as ASEC. Mas nadagdagan lang po yung ASEC. It's still administration po, general administration of the Office of the Secretary proper, supervision of the people inside the Office of the Secretary proper, assisting her during the field visitations, helping her with meetings and technical na requirements. And there was also a time when I was helping her or drafting department orders on behalf of the Office of the Secretary.
Talagang napakadami mong ginagawa sa kanya at talagang masasabi natin dahil sa sobrang dami ng iyong obligasyon sa iyong trabaho sa kanya, talagang masasabi natin na pinagkakatiwalaan ka niya. Tama ba?
I believe so, Mr. Chair.
Nung naging HEA at Assistant Secretary ka ng DepEd, kilala nyo si Yusek Gloria Mercado, tama ba?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Si Director Resty Osayas,
Yes, Mr. Chair.
si Miss Runa Catalan.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Now, balikan natin, no? Nung yung sinabi ni Yusek Gloria Mercado. Sinabi nila no nakaraang hearing, isiniwalat nila sa komiting ito na inabutan mo daw sila ng puting envelope na naglalaman ng malaking pera. So dahil hindi ka nagpakita sa mga panahong ito, hindi ka nabigyan ng pagkakataon para sagutin yung mga akusasyong ito. Totoo ba na inabutan mo sila ng sobre o nagsisinungaling silang tatlo?
Respectfully, Mr. Chair, I would not want to answer that question. May I explain if I be allowed? In the previous hearings, Mr. Chair, there have been those allegations which insinuated that I committed these illegal acts. There were actually some crimes that were mentioned. And as such, if I'm going to answer those allegations, Mr. Chair, respectfully, I would want to answer them in a proper forum wherein I will be able to present my defenses based on the completeness of the said allegations, Mr. Chair.
Hindi, tinatanong lang naman kita kung meron kang inabot o wala. It is answerable by yes or no. Kung wala, sabihin mo wala. Kung meron, sabihin mo meron.
I will not answer, Mr. Chair, respectfully po. I already stated my reason for such.
So you are invoking your right for self-incrimination?
I will not answering, Mr. Chair, as I've already informed you of the reason for such.
Okay. Go ahead. Sige, marami mo. Interject ka. If you want.
Mr. Chair.
Please proceed.
Mr. Chair, I hope you understand po, with the respectfully through the chairman, Attorney Fajarda, we have rules po kasi in the committee, and refusal to answer is a ground for contempt. We would much prefer if you would choose to invoke your right, please do so. Do not say that you are refusing to answer. If you are very welcome to invoke your right, but we need to hear it from you po.
I stand by my answer in the previous answer that I've given to Honorable Kongkun, Mr. Chair.
That you refuse to answer.
Yes, Mr. Chair, because I will only answer in a proper forum where I will be able to present my defenses po.
You refuse to answer, yet you do not invoke the right.
It's in the same manner, Mr. Chair, that I am saying that I refuse to answer such questions po.
Well, Mr. Chair, we leave it to the committee on how they would appreciate that answer. We just had to clarify whether this was an invocation of the right. Thank you, Ms. Fajardo.
Mr. Chair,
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair, may I interject? May I follow up, Mr. Chair? Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah, Mr. Chair. So again, I would like to reiterate the question of Congressman Rog Gutierrez. Your answer, would that in effect invoking your right against self-incrimination?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Yeah. Because you've mentioned about the proper forum, so I would presume that the proper forum is the court. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chair. So you are invoking your right against self-incrimination.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Okay. But Mr. Chair, but that does not mean that she is denying the allegation. She's just merely invoking her right against self-incrimination. To me, Mr. Chair, that's my own interpretation is that's one way of saying that I admit, but this is not the proper code to discuss that. Thank you, Mr. Chair. That's a manifestation po. And that is my personal interpretation.
I understand, Mr.
Thank
Chair.
you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, we will respect your right against self-incrimination. Next. Yes, please continue, Congressman Kong.
So, base sa tatlong opisyales ng Department of Education, katulad sa mga pahayag nila Yusek Mercado, Ms. Catalan at Director Usayas, kayo po ay nagbigay, no, sa kanila, no, o Director Usayas, no, kayo po ay nagbigay sa kanila ng sobre, binigyan niyo po sila ng pera, at katulad nga po ng sinasabi nila, ito ay galing, no, sa confidential fund ng Department of Education. Ngayon, kung hindi niyo po masasagot ng diretso ito, igagalang ko po yung inyong karapatan na hindi sagutin. Kaya lang hindi mo maiiwasan, no, ang committing ito, no, na mag-isip, no, kung totoo nga ba, no, ang sinasabi ni Yusek Mercado, ni Ms. Catalan at ni Director Osayas. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. The next to interpolate is Congressman Sia Alonto Adjong.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to, again, be enlightened. And if you may, Ms. Fajarda, you walk me through on how the utilization of the confidential funds pertaining to the issuances of the disbursement, liquidation report, the checks, and the disbursement vouchers, if you may. This is also in line with the attempt of this representation to really fully understand on how you comply with the joint circular. No? So you just walk me through. Ms. Fajarda, last hearing, Yusek Mercado says na ikaw ang nag-abot sa kanya, ng cheque na nagkakalaga ng 37.5 million. These are 3 checks, which amounts to 112.5 million in total. Para kanyang pirmahan yung releasing of the confidential funds ng DepEd noong 2023. Would you confirm that, Ms. Fajarda?
That is false, Mr. Chair. I never gave any checks to Ms. Mercado, number one. And number two, Mr. Chair, I am not involved in any way in the utilization of the confidential funds. Respectfully, Mr. Chair.
Okay, so you are saying that you never in any way secured the signatures of Ms. Yusek Mercado.
Yes, Mr. Chair. I never
Categorically.
secured any of her signatures.
So what you're saying is that Ms. Yusek Mercado is the one lying. Is that correct?
I'm not also saying that, Mr. Chair. I wasn't really able to listen to what she said, but I did not give her any checks, nor did I request her to sign any checks.
Okay. According to Ms. Mercado also, the checks that were requested for her to sign should also be supported by a signature from Annalyn Sevilla. Would you know Annalyn Sevilla?
Yes, Mr. Chair. She's under a secretary of the Department of Education.
Okay. What is your participation, Frieza? Can you walk me through what is exactly your participation in so far as the securing of the signatures for the disbursement to secure the disbursement vouchers?
My participation, Mr. Chair, is ministerial in nature because our setup in the Office of the Secretary, since I am in charge of the admin work, is that the documents for signature of the Vice President goes through me, and then...
Wait,
yes.
po, kasi para maintindihan ko po. Sige, can you please,
My participation, Mr. Chair, in the securing of signatures is ministerial in nature.
Meaning?
Meaning that all the documents in the Office of the Secretary that are for signature of the Vice President goes through me or go through me so that I can have it signed by her.
Yeah, that's correct. So meaning to say, when it comes to, like for example, can we request the COMSEC to show us the disbursement voucher?
Comsec?
Yeah. So all of these three disbursement vouchers are signed by Vice President Sara Duterte. Now, prior to the signing or releasing of the checks, you have to secure first the disbursement voucher. Am I correct?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
And so the signature of Vice President Sara Duterte with that of Annalyn Sevilla, as indicated here in the disbursement voucher, if we are to take your answer that you are to secure the signatures, does that mean that you also, in a way, required for this disbursement voucher to present this to Yusek Mercado for the release of the checks?
No, Mr. Chair, I have no transaction whatsoever with Ms. Mercado in relation to the confidential funds.
Okay, so what does the needed signature of the Vice President for the disbursement voucher, what is it for? In this particular monitor, is it for the releasing of the 3 checks? Is it correct?
I believe, Mr. Chair, that is for the processing of the disbursement voucher for the confidential fund.
That's correct. That is correct, and that's what Yusek Mercado said in the previous hearing. In fact, the testimony of Yusek Mercado is it's reinforced and corroborated by the statement of Ms. Catalan. So that voucher is needed to secure the release of the checks. Am I correct?
Yes, Mr. Chair, because it is routed to our office from the accounting office.
So where do you give the vouchers after having all these signatures attached in this? Where do you go from here?
After securing the signature of the Vice President, it has to be returned to the SDO, and then the SDO will be the one to return it to the accounting office.
You mean to say SDO in this case is your husband?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
So it goes back to the SDO.
Yes, because he's the one carrying the documents back to the accounting office.
So your husband is the one going, so siya pupunta doon sa accounting office for the release of this.
Yes, because he's the SDO, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Would you confirm that all these 3 disbursement vouchers correspond to the 37.5 million pesos that were encashed by your husband, Mr. Fajarda?
I do not have the copies of the 3 vouchers, Mr. Chair. But I cannot confirm that because, again, I am not the one involved with the confidential funds. I just request the Vice President to sign, and then it is returned to the accounting office for the standard operating procedure in the processing of said vouchers.
According to the testimony of Land Bank, nagkaroon po ng pirmahan. The checks that were released were signed by Yusek Mercado and Yusek Sevilla on February 20, 2023, April 19, 2023, and July 11, 2023. Would you confirm this, Ms. Sunshine?
I cannot confirm that, Mr. Chair, because, again, I am not involved in the confidential funds po.
Okay. But could you at least your husband confirm these dates?
Your Honor, hindi lang po ako sure doon sa exact date, but yan po yung month.
Kayo po ba, Mr. Edward, ang payee sa mga cheque na ito?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So you confirm that three checks ay 37 million, 3 pong ni-release ito. Can we show that again? $37 million amounting to 11.2 million pesos. Tama po ba? Do you confirm that?
3 po yung 37.5 million. Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Edward Fajarda, ano po yung ginagawa nyo after you have encashed this check?
Your Honor, pag nasa akin na po yung pera, nasa office na po yan, tatawagan ko na po ang security officer na magdi-disburse po ako sa kanya ng pera.
Okay. But before the disbursement, let me go back to Ms. Fajarda. Who ordered you to secure the signature of the Vice President and for other signatures that you needed to affix on the disbursement voucher?
I'm sorry, Mr. Chair, can you please repeat the
Who
question?
gave you who ordered you, who told you to secure these signatures?
Mr. Chair, it's part of my job. It's a
Yeah,
ministerial...
I know, but who told you that? I mean, I know it's part of your job, but I'm sure somebody has to tell you that we need to secure these checks, get the signatures for the disbursement voucher for the release of these checks. Who told you that?
The accounting office, Mr. Chair, gives us the documents so that it will be signed with the secretary.
Yeah, but who told the accounting office?
May I ask the specific question, Mr. Chair, as to what you are pertaining to
I'm
po?
trying to understand the confidential file. It cannot be released without the signature and the approval of the principal. Is it correct?
That's the question,
Yes,
Mr. Chair.
I want to
Okay.
understand precisely because what you're saying is your job is only technical, attending meetings, that these are your answers, no? When you were asked before. Technical lang yung ano mo, yung trabaho mo, and you're also in charge of attending the meetings.
Mr. Chair, that was before in the City Mayor's office in 2011 po.
Okay, but what is your job now in the Office of the Department of Education?
My job before in the Office of the Office of the Secretary in the Department of Education, in July 2022, Mr. Chair, I was the head executive assistant. In April of 2023, I became the Assistant Secretary of the Office of the
Okay,
Secretary.
I want to understand, no, prior to the submission and the securing of the signatures and the vouchers, gusto ko lang po maintindihan, is it the accounting that is telling you that you need to secure the signatures?
I believe, Mr. Chair, it's the SDO which already informs the accounting because after he mentioned a while ago that there is a physical and financial plan. After that, he is the one who informs the accounting.
Do you have that fiscal and financial plan with you?
I do not have a copy of that
Mr. Chair?
document,
Yeah,
Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Mr. Chair, may I request that we require the submission of this technical and
Physical and financial plan.
Physical and financial plan, Mr. Chair. That's a motion so that we can understand how the workings within your department when it's come to the utilization of the confidential funds. We want to understand that because
Mr. Chair, it has already been submitted po, I believe.
Can we ask the COMSEC if we can confirm that there is also already a submission of that?
Your Honor, the Secretariat has yet to receive or has not yet received the PFP, Your Honor.
So, do you stand by with your answer that you have already submitted?
I
that?
believe that it was already submitted by COA, Mr. Chair, because it is part of the submissions of the DepEd.
Wala pa. Wala pa? COMSEC?
None, Chair. What was submitted was part of the confidential funds, which was also submitted to the Committee on Appropriations, subject of a different subpoena to SESTECOM by this committee to the Commission on Audit. There was no PFP attached, only disbursement vouchers, liquidation reports. Yun lang pong maalala ko sa
So
documents
at
namin,
any
sir.
rate, I move that we request for the submission of the financial plan. Physical and financial
Mr.
plan.
Fajarda will submit, Mr. Chair, because he's the one handling the documents po for the confidential funds.
I don't care who's going to submit it. We just require for your department to submit it to the committee, okay? Now, let me go back to Mr. Fajarda. Just want to understand. Tama po ba you in cash personally?
Yes, Your Honor.
O, kasi yun po yung sinabi ng land bank kanina. So, you are using duffel bags for the encashment of this 112 million pesos, no? 0.5.
37 po per quarter. 37.5
Per quarter, yeah.
Opo.
So, amounting to 112.5 million pesos.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yeah, that's correct. So, ano po yung ginagawa nyo dito before the releasing of these confidential funds or the distribution or the payment for rewards or whatever? What do you do with that? Do you directly use that and go to the areas where you do the payment? Or
Your Honor, hindi po.
ano pong ginagawa nyo doon?
Dinidisburse ko lang po yan sa security officer.
Sino po yung security officer ninyo?
Si
Right away?
Your Honor, tumatawag po ako sa kanya, then magkikita po kami sa DepEd.
Saan po kayo nakikita dun sa DepEd?
Sa DepEd po, minsan po sa office po ng BPSPG, minsan sa bar, kung saan po safe, pero along sa DepEd lang po.
Within the DepEd.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ano pong pangalan nila nung
Colonel Nolasco po, Dennis Nolasco, Colonel Dennis Nolasco po.
Dennis Nolasco? So hindi niyo ho siya dinadala sa office or din deposit?
Nasa office po siya, pero hindi ko po din-deposit.
Yeah, how big is your office pala, yung office space?
Malaki po, malaki. Hindi lang po kalakihan, pero tama lang po.
Okay. Let me go back to Ms. Fajarda. The previous hearing, Ms. Catalan also said to this committee that ikaw ang nag-request sa kanya ng mag-sign sa mga liquidation reports for the first, second, and third quarter ng 2023 pertaining to the confidential funds. Is this correct? Do you confirm this?
No, Mr. Chair, I want to correct that. I did not request her to sign. What I said was prepare the documents because the SDO already has to sign it po. Because Ms. Catalan, before she signs, I believe the SDO has to sign first, and then from the SDO, it's to the principal, and then Ms. Catalan. So they have to prepare the documents for the signature of the 3 signatories.
Bakit kayo po yung nagre-request sa kanya? Hindi ho ba dapat si Mr. Fajarda because you're the payee, and you're the one who's supposed to, who knows how you
Sa akin
have
po yung
utilized, yeah? Bakit si Miss Sunshine yung nagre-request kay Miss Catalan instead of you? Because you're the one who encashed the amount, and you're supposed to be the one to know on how exactly these funds are being spent.
Actually, Your Honor, pag nagperma na po ako sa liquidation, ibibigay ko po kay Asek Shine. Siya po kasi ang magpapaperma sa head of the agency.
Ano po?
Pag napermahan ko na po yung liquidation, ibigay ko po sa kanya para papermahin po niya kay BP Sara.
So everything goes to Miss Fajarda.
Basta po kay BP na ang peperma, sa kanya po muna dumadaan.
Okay. Miss Fajarda, do you ask Miss Catalan to sign the liquidation report without even providing her any attachment?
The SDO will be the one to answer that, Your Honor.
No, because that's what Ms. Catalan said in the previous hearing, that you require her to sign the liquidation report without even showing her any acknowledgement receipts. Acknowledgement receipts, yes, that's correct.
I'm going to correct that again, Your Honor. I did not request her to sign. What we requested was for the papers to be prepared already, but not for her to sign anything, Your Honor.
Yeah, but if she does not sign, what will happen, di ba? Hindi magpo-push through yung liquidation report, is it correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yeah, but
it's,
that's why-
it's the SDO, Your Honor, which actually explains the accounting on how
but
the
according
liquidation
to-
report
yes,
is to be
I know, but
accomplished.
supposedly dapat siya. But according to Ms. Catalan, you're the one who goes to her office and then asks her to sign without even showing her acknowledgement receipts. Is that correct?
No, it's not correct, Your Honor. Again, I'm going to correct that. I did not ask her to sign. We just request for the documents to be prepared, all the documents for the attachment of the liquidation.
So you have nothing to do with securing the signatures of Ms. Catalan? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, Your Honor.
You have nothing to do with it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Fajarda, di ba dapat ikaw yung nagsasubmit ng liquidation report? Kasi you're the payee.
Nagsasubmit, Your Honor, nagsasubmit sa
Nagsasubmit ng liquidation, preparing for the liquidation report.
kanino, I mean,
For the liquidation report of the confidential funds.
you mean sa COA po?
Yeah?
Ang
Prior to that, for the securing of the signatures, Hindi ba? What is your participation? Kasi ang sabi ni Ms. Catalan dito, gusto kong pabangga yung testimony ni Ms. Catalan for us to really understand, no? Kasi mukhang within the workings of your office, parang somebody is lying. Yusek Mercado says na you are asking her to sign the checks corroborated with Ms. Catalan, saying that Ms. Sunshine Fajarda is the one requiring Ms. Catalan to sign the signatures. Even you gave her that envelope. Yung sinasabi nilang white amount, may mga amounts naka-enclose doon sa mga envelope. So, I'm just trying to understand your participation, Ms. Sunshine, no, Fajarda. Gusto ko lang maintindihan. Supposedly, dapat, yung asawa mo, as the payee, will be the one to ask Ms. Catalan to sign the liquidation report. Kasi siya nga po yung payee and he's the one more knowledgeable on how these funds are being spent. Now, gusto kong malaman yon. Is it you or is Mr. Fajarda?
Your Honor, ganito po kasi yan. Kapag nagpirma na po ako sa liquidation report, ibigay ko po kay Sunshine, and then papaperma, siya po kasi ang magpapaperma kay BP Sara.
Ano po?
Siya po ang magpapasign kay BP Sara. Basta po, ang paperma na po ay si BP Sara, dadaan po muna sa kanya.
Si Ms. Sunshine.
Opo, sa kanya po ang papers.
Mr. Chair, maybe perhaps in the next committee hearing, I would pursue a request asking questions once we have the financial plan, fiscal plan, covering
Physical and
physical
financial
and financial plan, covering the confidential funds, because it will give us more information and knowledge on how the workings within that your department, and so far as the securing of signatures, releasing of disbursement vouchers, and ultimately the releasing of these checks. I have trouble, Mr. Chair, understanding which role, task are given to between the couple, Ms. Sunshine and Mr. Fajarda. So gusto ko lang pong malaman, prior to that, I would just like to, hopefully, by next time, request Undersecretary Mercado to come. Maybe we can invite her again. Ms. Catalan also, if we can invite her again, so that we can finally really shed light on these questionable dealings and transactions. Ms. Yusek Mercado is not around, so it's not, gusto ko sanang siyang tanungin. But since she's not here in Ms. Catalan, it will be hard na ibangga yung mga testimonies
Yusek
nila.
Mercado is present.
Former Yusek Mercado was invited, but she's not here. For Miss Catalan, I believe she's present, Your Honor.
Ms. Catalan?
Can you please take your seat, Miss Reuna Catalan?
Okay.
Umalis na daw
Maybe
po.
in the next hearing, Mr. Chair.
Okay.
And I would like to reserve and avail of the interpellation once Yusek Mercado and Ms. Catalan are both present in the next hearing. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you,
Thank
Ms.
you.
Fajarda, and thank you, Mr. Fajarda.
Thank you, Honorable
Thank you
Z.
po.
Alonto. Sir Jong? Yes, Congressman Jude.
Just a brief interjection para hindi humawala yung train, no, nung mga tanong po ni ni Congressman Zia. Kay Mr. Fajarda, gaano po kayo katagal na SDO sa DepEd? Or at least empleyado sa DepEd?
Nag-start po ako August 2022.
Okay. So mga 2 taon din po, no?
Opo, mga ganyan.
Sa panahon po yun, meron bang pagkakataon na kayo po ay nag-reach out sa mga principal, superintendents, mga region directors o empleyado ng DepEd para humingi po ng kanilang mga bank accounts ng mga empleyadong ito?
Sa superintendent po, Your Honor.
Okay. Yes, that's the reason exactly why I'm asking, Mr. Chair, because may mga kumakalat pong photos sa social media involving exchanges between yung mga superintendent po sa Region 7, ang mga messages. Can we request the Secretariat? Baka pwede pong ma-flash.
Secretariat.
Itong messages na to nagme-mention na may pangalang Edward from the CO, which I think refers to Central Office or OSEC. Sa pagkakaintindi ko po, ito po ay Office of the Secretary. Can we ask the Secretary to show it? Meron po. Then the next. May ipapakita po akong numero sa inyo. Ilalapit ko po. Mr. Chair, with your permission. Just for him to
Please.
confirm. Mr. Chair,
Congressman Nasidre.
meron po akong pinakitang number kay Mr. Fajardo at sabi po niya, malamang sa hindi, yun po ay pagkaari niyang number.
Fajarda.
Mr. Fajarda, na itong number po ay sa kanya po.
Do you confirm, Mr. Parda?
I-convert ko po.
Yes, okay.
At dahil po sa ang mga messages na to, sinasabing si Edward Fajarda, yung next na slide, next screenshot, ay humihingi ng bank account at bank details ng mga empleyado. Siguro sa salitang Bisaya po yung message, parang sinasabi po, ito yung sinabi ko sa inyo, sa blurred yung lugar na merong tatawag sa inyong Edward, pakibigay ng inyong account number, legit po yan. God bless. I'm showing you also next, I'll also show you a screen cap of the portion of the affidavit of former Yusek Mercado, a former employee in DepEd. Basahin ko po. Number 5. Although the exact date evades recollection, sometime during the course of my tenure with the DepEd, a member of my staff informed me that an inquiry was made by one of our officers in the field that Mr. Fajarda had made inquiries about the bank accounts of several individuals. And if divulging such information to Mr. Fajarda was permitted, my office confirmed that it was upon the instruction of the Office of the Secretary. Evidently, it would appear that regional directors and other employees on the field would also receive sums on top of the regular salaries. So, Mr. Fajarda, bakit po kayo humingi ng mga bank details nila?
Mr. Chair, ang nakalagay po kasi dito ay regional directors sa
Pero ang sinasabi niyo po, sino po yung hiningan niyo?
superintendent po. Superintendent
Whether
po.
superintendents po or regional directors, bakit po kailangan humingi ng personal bank details?
Actually po, I was instructed by VP Sara.
Based po sa instruction ni VP Sara.
Yes, Your
Nagpapadala po ba kayo ng pera sa mga accounts na to?
May napadalhan po ako pero hindi po, I mean hindi siya lahat.
Hindi lahat ng superintendents.
Yes, Your Honor.
Paano po pinipili kung sinong padadalan at hindi padadalan?
Sa pagkakaalam ko po, yung pong nagbigay ng mga account numbers, kasi during po kasi sa pag-iikot ni VP Sara, nakita po niyo doon na yung pong superintendent gumagastos po ng sariling pera nila sa kanilang office field work ko nila.
Pero Mr. Fajarda, kung titignan mo sa screenshot, yung lahat po ng superintendent sa Region 7 ay inyo pong kinontak at hiningan. Ibig sabihin silang lahat to na bigyan?
Your Honor, actually hindi ko kilala lahat ng superintendent. I'm not sure kung, basta ang alam ko lang po hindi po lahat.
So, granted no, kung ano yung sinabi yung reply mo. Ang tanong ko po, pag nagpapadala po kayo ng pera dito, personal account yung pong ginagamit or official account ng DepEd?
I mean, account number po nila.
Account number nila. Saan po nanggagaling yung pera na pinapadala po ninyo?
Binibigay po yun sa akin ni VP Sara.
Si VP Sara mismo, hindi through Attorney Sunshine?
Si VP Sara po, yung pong for that specific instruction.
So ito pong lahat ng pagkakataon, pag naging panauhin po namin ang mga superintendents at regional directors, we would expect that that would be the response, no, na hindi ho lahat. At hindi po regular.
Hindi po lahat kasi kasi sobrang dami po niyan at hindi po regular.
Okay. Yun lang po, Mr. Chair.